side conservatives do a disservice, acting like it doesn't exist and then pretending that the real discrimination is people trying to address the discrimination that Republicans pretend doesn't exist. That's like saying that because a man can't go in a woman's bathroom, that's discrimination.
That is discrimination.
When most people talk about DEI, they don't really know what it is. I'm just curious, like, is there any specific like DEI policy that you could even point to that you're like, this was bad? Or is it just like the mysterious DEI that's evil?
Yeah, I mean, I can't point to the name of a policy.
He oversaw lower unemployment than Obama. He oversaw record low unemployment at that. He saw almost an entire GDP percentage point greater in GDP growth than Obama. Obviously, he created more jobs. Both of them had the effect of bounce back lost jobs. So I thought it would be fair to even take both of their total numbers. In 8 years, Obama had 11 million and Biden did 14 million in 3 years. So like, and again, both of them had plenty of bounce back jobs. Even if you look at new jobs created, like towards the end of their terms, Biden had stronger monthly numbers. I think Biden was a lot better on foreign policy. He strengthened NATO in ways that Obama didn't. Obama was hesitant going into Syria after the chemical weapons attack. We all know about Obama and the drone strikes and the citizens and things like that. And I also think that Biden made the Affordable Care Act a lot better. So that's what I would lay out as my Biden position. I don't know exactly where to start. So Swap, if there's somewhere you want it to go into, you could take it away.
Yeah, some things that I don't think are so great about Biden is like the 9.1% inflation in summer of 22. Obviously, that was horrible, and we felt it all over the board, especially middle class families. I thought
Sure.
his
Hold on, real
handling,
quickly.
yeah,
Would how much of that, like you do understand that that was like on a global trend? Not much of
yeah,
it.
and obviously there was COVID, and I'm not saying it's completely his fault, but
I
as
don't
it,
think it's really his fault at all, because also like if you think of what causes inflation, a lot of it is spending, right? Like high spending with the lack of demand or revenue to keep up with it. And both the Fed and Trump outspent Biden on COVID relief.
yeah, like I said, it would be for me more about handling and getting the inflation back down and doing what he can to
Which he did,
stimulate the economy. And
faster and
then
stronger than any other country.
on the border and stuff, I think that his handling the border was awful. Granted, I can't really talk with Obama so much on the border either. He also had kids in cages, so it's not all three, all maybe all four. I don't really know
Well,
about Bush and the border, but I'd say all three of the most recent presidencies have had a bad time at the border. It's not been
okay.
good.
So then your problem with Biden is like the humanity of it, not the MAGA 20 million
No, no,
illegal.
no, no. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Humanitarian stuff.
Mhm.
Um, like I said,
Then
you
yeah,
can use that as a point against Obama too,
we're in
because
complete
he
agreement
also
then.
did that.
Yeah.
And then we got to talk about Afghanistan.
Yes.
Yipers. That was a
Yes.
bad withdrawal. I'm glad that we did
Whoa,
withdraw,
wait, hold on.
but the
Go
way
ahead.
it was done very poorly.
What do you think was
Uh,
poorly done about it?
I mean that them just like basically randomly one day, everyone getting out and them not taking all of their equipment. People, I think there's like pictures of people like running after the planes, like people getting left behind. Like it was messy. It was bad, ethically questionable on the grand stage of the world. Everyone was like, and so it was just bad all around, in my opinion.
So
Um,
yeah, I actually hold a completely different opinion than you. So
Interesting.
we could talk about this. I think
Yeah.
that was one of the better things that Biden did in his presidency. I think we were in Afghanistan way too long, that we had to get out. It was always going to be messy. It was 20 years that we were there. And then a lot of what I think gets under talked about when we talk about the Afghanistan withdrawal is actually a lot of the pretense leading up to it was signed by Donald Trump. The Doha agreement, the DOHA agreement, is what set in motion that we would pull out. And that was agreed upon by Trump. And what Trump agreed to was to reduce our troops to 2,500. That is less than functioning for the machinery we had to defend. And he
Right.
left all of that machinery behind. So when he pulled our troops out to just 2,500, he left all the expensive weaponry and stuff. And he agreed to release 5,000 Taliban soldiers, including some that took part on the attack, in part of this agreement. Biden came in, and I mean, I think he was kind of given a shit end of the stick. And I'm sure there's things that obviously, when U.S. troops die, things could have been done differently, right?
Right. Right.
But I will die on the hill that Biden going through and getting troops out of there was the right thing to do. And I think the best way to paint that is in that withdrawal, less troops died than every other year that we had in Afghanistan, other than COVID. COVID's the only one. We only had 11 troops die in the COVID year. Every other year we've been in
Nobody went outside.
yeah, exactly. Every other year though in Afghanistan, we had more and like in the early years, it's like we're talking like hundreds, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah.
under Trump, we're seeing like 50, 60, 70 a year. So like I think it was the right decision, even if we lost.
Like I said, no, I think everybody hopefully is in agreement that we needed to get the hell out of Afghanistan. I mean, 10 years. I mean, we shouldn't have been there, but
Obama should have done it. I'm just saying.
but like I said, I just think the execution, from what I remember, and maybe you would know better, um, there was there was like a few more gradual steps to get us out, and he just kind of was like, let's skip those like last three and just get them out now, and that's kind of what like threw everything into whoa.
So
But I don't really remember the details very well. It was a couple of years back now.
there was fighting happening on the ground. It was like conflicts were kind of happening, and there was like the question of, are we going to be able to get out if we wait until this date? Are we going to be able to get out? And Biden just said, you know,
So there was another date though. I got
there
that part
was.
right.
I
That they
think we
were
put.
thinking about doing it a little bit later.
Yes, but it wasn't like far. I think it was like
Oh yeah,
I think we put out like a month early or
yeah.
something like that. But yeah, I do agree. But yeah, I would die on the hill that it was the right thing to do. I just think staying there would have been much more costly for lives.
And then here we're definitely going to disagree. Granted, again, the part about for me is that a lot of the stuff is just stuff that Obama may have also done, or at least done
Yeah.
set the seeds for. Like, and for I think in the cultural overreach, I think the enforcement of DEI and all of that stuff was just absolutely out of control during the Biden administration. And I'm glad that's one of the few things. Granted, I think it's low on the list,
So
but
what was
one of the few
something
things I think is good about Trump's presidency is that he nixed that
do you
stuff.
have
But
any specifics about the DEI stuff that you thought was
well, yeah, I mean, I oppose DEI altogether. I think it's bad. So I don't think we should be,
right? Well, I
to
think my
use your
thing.
word, discriminating against people based on their race. So
Sure. Yeah. And my thing is like, and that's kind of what I'm getting at is I think when most people talk about DEI, they don't really know what it is. I'm just curious, like, is there any specific like DEI policy that you could even point to that you're like, this was bad? Or is it just like the mysterious DEI that's evil?
yeah, I mean, I can't point to the name of a policy, but I would say anything that says
I wonder why.
this person black, therefore
Yeah.
anything like that, I don't
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, I think that if that policy existed, that everybody would know what that policy was. It's kind of the
I
point.
mean, it does. I mean, just look at the colleges. I mean, look at the
Sure.
what do you
What's
call
the college?
those?
What's the college
What do you
policy?
call those? How do you get? What's it called when you get money?
I
I
don't
didn't.
know. I
No,
don't.
like yeah, like
Way too vague.
to go to school.
Scholarship?
Yeah, yeah, yes, like
Yeah.
scholarships. Like
Mhm.
you got to be black, whatever age, this low income, yada yada yada, and then we'll give you such and such and such. I don't agree with that type of stuff. Or looking at
That's not okay. Hold on. First off,
looking,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Hold on. First off, because you're skipping a lot, right? You do like because we never really talked about I think racism or anything. You do acknowledge the discrimination with education that Black people face with things like redlining and such, right?
like redlining, like in the 70s, or you mean like right now?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean historically, not anymore.
Yeah,
Historically.
historically, I know about
Right.
redlining.
So when we're talking about scholarships, like there's not a your black scholarship. There's scholarships that are targeted to address
black scholarship.
yes, to address those who are victims of redlining and those who are disproportionately have been discriminated on in education. It's not, hey, brown skin guy, here's your scholarship.
I don't know about that.
Mhm.
Let's see. Looking it up.
And I also want to point out too is that that's not like a federal policy that wouldn't have anything to do with Joe Biden either.
Yeah. What I meant was, I said he let it run rampant under his administration. Like so, like Trump, for instance, he said, no, 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 colleges, whatever, businesses, you're not allowed to have DEI training programs, none of that stuff. We can't be doing this. Um, in my opinion, discrimination. Like if you're a black student attending HBCU, so okay, well, I'm not black, discriminated. Well, I am black, but if it was somebody else. So yes, there are definitely scholarships where a prerequisite is you must be black,
At an
and I don't think that's
HBC,
right.
at an HBCU, yes, a historically black college, because these are scholarships that are poised to target the discrimination and things, the
That
disproportionate
might be
ways,
the target. I'm not disagreeing with you that that's the target. I'm
which
just
are a
saying
good thing,
that is in
which
fact
are a good.
discrimination based on race. Which, if I
No,
look up discrimination based on
no,
race, I'm going to find the word racism.
it's not
Um,
discrimination based on race. If that would
so
be the
white people
case,
can do it.
you can get scholarships. I
Can they
don't know
get
what
that
you're talking
scholarship?
about. That's what that's like saying that because a man can't go in a woman's bathroom, that's discrimination.
That is discrimination,
Okay, so then you're saying that not all discrimination is bad, then that you
which
agree
is
with
true.
use. Okay, well then I would agree, I guess. If you
Which
just
is
want to
true.
if you want to semantically say that's discrimination in the same way that a man can't go in a woman's bathroom, I would agree and say it's a good thing then, I guess.
Yeah, some discrimination is good and some discrimination is bad.
Right. And I think that in which targets the effects of racism is probably good.
And you're free to hold that opinion.
Especially in a way that doesn't actually disadvantage anyone, because white students can still get scholarships, and there's actually scholarships that are, and even just in the totality of scholarships, I did like a whole, I've done like interviews on this too. In the totality of scholarships, a lot of them are tilted or skewed in ways that lean towards white students. A lot of testing, there's been with how standardized testing is done, even can favor white students. There's a lot of like ways that these things go into that I think does need to be addressed. And I think
Yeah, and I mean, so
your
go
side,
ahead.
I just think your side does it, just not you specifically, but your side, conservatives, do a disservice acting like it doesn't exist and then pretending that the real discrimination is people trying to address the discrimination that Republicans pretend doesn't exist.